All right, everyone. So they dropped the trailer for the new Exorcist film, The Exorcist Believer. Now I'm going to give y'all my thoughts and my reaction to the trailer, and I definitely want to hear from you guys and tell me what you thought about this. So before I go into my thoughts, let me just say this: I did not like this trailer. I did not like this trailer because it looked bland and it looked generic. Now I know some of y'all going, "Oh man, you trying to hate on the film or you trying to?" No. This is just my opinion. But before you start attacking me, let me just finish my opinions first. The next thing is the whole movies about the whole movies about people being possessed, the exorcism movies has been it's played out to me. And I'm pretty sure other people feel the same way. It's played out. These films are just played out because we've seen these movies so many times to the point where people are just like, oh, okay, another film about somebody being possessed. Uh, we know the story of it. Okay, somebody gets possessed by the devil or by a demon, and you got to call the priest or the sister from the church or somebody to come get the demon or the devil out of the possessed person. And while they possess, they're gonna be run up the wall. They face is gonna be all messed up. They're gonna be throwing up and doing all this other type of stuff. We've seen that so many times. It's 1,000 movies out there, or probably more than that, that's like this. And then on top of that, you got the Nun 2 coming out about somebody being possessed. So then we had the Evil Dead people being possessed. So to me, the whole exorcism films, to me, they need to just give it a rest. They need to just give it a rest and just say, okay, let's just not do these films for right now. We'll come back to them later on. But right now, let's just leave it alone because these films are not catching the audience attention like they used to. They just not. The next thing, The Exorcist is a classic, iconic horror film. And the reason why it's such a classic, iconic horror film and made such a huge impact that it did because, when it came out, people hadn't seen anything like that. The story was good, the acting was good, everything was on point. And it's one of those films that you cannot try to reboot, do a sequel, or remake at all. You just can't do it because you're not going to have that same effect. You're not going to have that same success as the first one did. It's just not going to work. And that's what we're seeing in Hollywood today is that they keep trying to take these old classic films that has a fan base and say, let's just do a reboot, let's just do a remake, let's just do a sequel. And it's not working. It's just not working at all. But this is what happens when you don't want to pay your writers. You get stuff like this. And you get somebody in there who's not really a good writer. You just bring them up in there and just say, hey, this is what we want to do. Because the films that's coming out now today is more about corporate instead of creativity. The next thing, Blumhouse has lost the edge that they used to have. Because when Blumhouse came out and started making the horror films, that they had that edge, they had that independence, the stories was good, the movie was good, and you just had to see a Blumhouse film. At the time, they was on top of their game in the horror genre, and people loved it. I'm a fan of Blumhouse, still is. But Blumhouse has lost their edge to the point that a lot of their movies that's coming out now looks very commercial. It doesn't have that edge that it used to have. And then they're starting to do all these remakes and reboots and sequels to films that just hasn't worked. They did the Firestarter film that didn't work. Then they did the Halloween film. Now, the first Halloween that they did was pretty good, but those last two was terrible. You know, and now they're doing this, and it just it's just not there. You know, but hopefully they'll be able to bounce back with the Five Nights at Freddy's film because that trailer looks interesting and looks pretty good. But this one here, the Exorcism, is just not there for me. You know, it's just not doing it. You know, and I'm just going by what I see in the trailer. Now, I'm definitely gonna see the movie, but this movie, judging so far by the trailer, it just looks like a movie that one that needs to be on streaming instead of going to the theaters. Number two, it's just one of those movies that you'll be like, okay. You know, it's not something that I need to go see. It's not something that's like, oh, I gotta go see that. It's just like, okay, The Exorcist. Another movie about somebody being possessed. I said I'd rather watch it on streaming or see it when I get a chance to. That's the vibe that it gets. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe when the film comes out, the film may be pretty good. We just have to see. But I just feel like if you're going to take a film like this of a high caliber and talking about doing any type of sequel or reboot, whatever, to this film, you definitely got to bring your A game because The Exorcist is a franchise. As I said, it's an iconic franchise. And if you talking about touching this, you definitely better bring your A game with this. I mean, far as the actors, far as the writers, everything better be on point. Now, I'm not taking away from the actors. I'm not taking away from the writer, David Gordon Green. I'm not saying all that. But I'm just saying, this is just my opinion, that when you start touching iconic classic like this, you got to step it up. You got to step it up. So we'll see what happens when the film comes out. But I want to hear from you guys. Let me know how you feel about this. The trailer for the Exorcism. Is this some for the Exorcist? I'm sorry, Believer. Is this something that you want to see? Is this something that you don't want to see? I'll definitely want to hear from y'all. Let's talk about. Let's have this conversation and stay tuned.